What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's Knight here, your Tech and Games Crusader. Um, this is just sort of an update on where things are for me and my family right now through this holiday time, through 2020. Looking back where I've been this year and where it looks like things are headed. My health has been sideways all year long. The blood disease has kind of progressed a little bit worse, a lot faster than they were expecting it to because of different things related to the fluid in my lungs, for one. The blood oxygen to my brain levels has gone down quite a bit faster than they were expecting. So I'm dangerously close to no longer being able to drive and to have to be able to carry a conversation, because the scale that they gave me is normal would be 65, and mine is currently, as of last Friday, being tested 31.8, and 28 is hospitalization. 30 is where your cognitive awareness and reaction time is low enough that you aren't safe to drive. So I'm still COVID free, but that's not saying a whole lot whenever I have things that are going on that are worse than COVID in some ways. And COVID is in and of itself has, my almost 5-month-old nephew, he has been sick and coughing and temperature for the last 2 weeks, and my sister found out on Friday when she took him to the ER that he has COVID-19. So if you have any sort of sympathy or care, please keep him in thoughts and prayer. Additionally, my sister got tested as well, and she's still waiting on her test results. And while she was waiting on her test results, she started having the symptoms of COVID, where that you can't taste or smell, and having nausea. So she got confirmation back that she also has COVID. So my niece is still tested negative, but she has sleep apnea, so that's a whole other thing. My sister was around my mother last Friday. Well, Friday of last week, rather. So almost 2 weeks ago. And my mother so far has no symptoms, and I pray that it stays that way. I just, the way that this hits a lot of things for my family, it's making me, the whole entire thing of COVID makes me think back to how my grandmother passed away last year. And basically, she couldn't breathe. She suffocated on fluid building in her lungs from cancer medicine that they gave her an aggressive dosage to pinpoint how long she would still live for. And I wasn't there for whenever she passed. My mother wasn't even in the room whenever she passed. She went to the bathroom, and it's like my grandmother waited to pass whenever my mom was out of the room, because she didn't want her to break down. But just a lot of things over the last few weeks have just kind of hit home a little too close and too hard, that I had to say something about it. I don't know if I'm even going to post this as public or not. I'm doing as I've been trying to do and become more social by, making videos, talking to myself, getting used to hearing myself and not being disgusted by every single thing about, I judge myself, only myself. And it's because I know I can be better, I can do better, but having no control over my current state of health or anything because of the energy levels and being exhausted mentally through everything, I'm rambling right now because I'm sharing a conversation, and that's really it. I'm trying to, whenever I'm permitted, if I'm permitted, to go back to streaming and regular content creation that's not on my mobile phone, to be able to just feel what normal should be. So, yeah, just trying to give an update on me that I can be able to see and reflect back as a record of, hey, I existed. I don't know if I'll be here next year, but we're never promised our next breath or our next moment. So I'm doing me, and I'm being what Jesus has asked me to be. I don't care if you're religious or if you're spiritual, if that bothers you or if it gets on your nerves. It's not meant to. I speak my truth. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to force my way on anyone else. But in my presence, I prefer people to respect me enough to, treat me with dignity and like a human, and not like a thing that they can manipulate or anything like that. So I'm, for lack of better terminology, I'm having a heart-to-heart facing myself. And I've never really done this before. So, I've not always ever been a happy-go-lucky person. I've just tried to get by and just make it through the day. And that's it. I think that's all that any of us are really trying to ever do, is just make it through the day. I'm me. I'm, after 42 years, starting to find myself, quote, just to see exactly what I'm about, what I like, what I really like, and it's not just a mirror or a reflection of the people I'm around or influences of people I'm around or anything like that, but what I like, what I care about. And, these may be things that, oh yeah, I did that when I was like 12 or 16 or something. I saw the world, whatever. That's you. Great. You did that. I'm talking about me right now, and I don't ever like to talk about myself. I would rather help anyone else and be able to, be there for anyone else than try and lift a finger for myself, because I don't ever feel like I'm worth it. I don't feel like I'm worth any friendship or any attention, because I've been neglected all my life. I've been literally in the middle of conversations with people and have them walk away just mid-sentence like it didn't matter. So I'm just really saying that I care way too much about everyone. And that's not a bad thing, because there is never too much that you can care about someone, whether you even know them or not. It's the holidays right now. It's a time that you're supposed to be, openly giving and openly accepting more than any other time in the world, in the year. I don't care about Pride Day because I don't believe in pride. I've never believed in pride. So, what I mean in that, pride is a sin in the Bible. But to me, I've never had anything to be proud of. I've never felt like I had anything to be proud of. My dad didn't want me. As soon as my sister graduated high school, he was gone. He divorced my mom. He just didn't want a family. I didn't have anybody there for me. Mom was always working, 1 or 2 jobs. I had babysitters. I was abused and made to abuse. Mentally broken down to be felt in the military after and all through life that I'm not deserving and I'm not worth anything. So why put effort towards trying to push towards being something? I was raised traditionally where that you go to school, you graduate school, get out of school, you get a job, go to college, then you find a career, and along the way, you do what's necessary to live. And in that terminology of do what's necessary to live, that's to be, with a pulse. That's not having a life. So I've just always done exactly as I was told. I tried to just get by and just stay alive. That's it. Not have a life. Not be happy. Not find joy or peace in anything. And a lot of that is just, it's ingrained in the way I was raised. Years and decades and what's the word? Generations upon generations upon generations of families in my descendancy that I come from. It's just what was preached and told and drilled into your head. So I didn't get to dream. I daydreamed in elementary school, but it was just, I was tired and I was mentally exhausted and I was lazy. I have never in my life, one day in my life, been mentally lazy. I am always a go-getter. I am always trying to help people, always trying to get things done. I don't like to put anything off. And having the ability right now to do none of that because of my health. I was basically told, I went to the doctor last week on Tuesday, and they gave me an updated diagnosis on my ultrasounds, and I had imaging done. And it's like, oh yeah, joking about this, just because if I don't joke about it and poke fun at it, I can't with a straight face say it and not kind of lose it. So those 17 clots that you have, well, 7 of them decided to become 4 super clots. Now you have the largest blood clots we have ever seen in your legs. So yay. I'm being taken to a area of my life that I never expected to happen, where that genetics rules over my effort, I can't outrun what my ancestors have done and had happened to them in the aspect of heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. I've already had the strokes and the heart attacks. I've had those since, starting at 22 years old. I had my first mild stroke. And then first heart attack at 26. I had cancer at 17. As far as what most people would consider, I've beaten odds. All I consider is I've beaten myself, or I've been beaten down by life. But I'm the type of person, the more punishment I endure, the more I'm motivated to overcome. My mind, if I lose my mind, right whenever I first start finding out things about myself that I like, I don't really know what is going to happen. Like, I made the joke whenever they said, oh yeah, you're essentially a walking functional vegetable whenever you get below 30. I'm like, great, I become what I eat because I'm plant-based, gluten-free, corn-free, soy-free, animal products free, no processed refined sugars, no added sugar. I can't have sodium now. I can't have managed fat. Can't have any fat added. So no oils. I can't have any nuts. And it's because they said my cholesterol was the highest that they have ever seen for me, which my HDL was 183 and my LDL was 161. And my blood pressure's borderline. Those things of heart disease and stuff run in my family. So, me being plant-based, you can't outdo lifestyle versus genetics whenever you have pre-existing conditions going on of 4 different things of autoimmune. I have Hashimoto's. I have thyroid autoimmune disorder. I have this blood disease. That's autoimmune. And some of the things that happened after I had the mild strokes is autoimmune. I have pre-stage fatty liver that I've had since 2009. And they gave me 6 months to live unless I made a lifestyle change. Well, that's kind of flaring up right now, and why they will allow me half of an avocado a day for my fat intake, and saying that, I have to be able to lose some weight, and it's not like I've not been trying. I'm on blood thinner. I'm on something that's supposed to be keeping me functional, but I really don't. I don't know. I'm taking a whole lot of blood thinner twice a day. And then the results after the ultrasound, the doctor told me, oh yes, I'd like for you to see, as soon as the new year rolls around, get in to see a vascular surgeon to see how to proceed, because we can't let you, the FDA is not going to let you stay on the amount of blood thinner that you've been prescribed, due to it being a short-term solution for hospitalization only. And you've been on it since January 18th, 2016. I've been on it. It's the only one that didn't give me severe side effects or try and kill me. So what do you expect? What can they do? They said because of the blood disease, I can't really have surgery. Surgery is not an option because it'll cause more clots than it'll get rid of. And there's the possibility of having a clot go to my brain. I've already had a clot go to my lungs. I've already had a clot go to my heart. I'm 42 years old, and almost 4 months into it. And I've had cancer at 17, mild stroke at 22, mild stroke at 26, first heart attack at 26, pre-stage fatty liver, 2009, 4 bleeding ulcers in 2008, and then Hashimoto's diagnosed in 2010, gluten sensitive and heavy metal sensitive, not music kind. I'm talking like aluminum, things like that. Since 2012. Can't have corn because it gives me thyroid storms. Can't have soy because it makes me itch so bad and break out in welts. I look like a tiger. And I have a blood disease that was diagnosed 2 years ago, which is what established the clots that I didn't even realize was a thing. Like, I had the blood clots possibly from October 2015 that were undiagnosed, and I thought it was just a muscle pull in my legs that I was still going to work and walking on and everything until I was on crutches going to the hospital on January 18th, 2016. How many months is that I went through and just pushed through because pain doesn't bother me? When I have wisdom teeth taken out, after the numbing wears off, I don't take anything because I build tolerance to pills too fast. I'm afraid to just unnecessarily spend too much money on medication of something that is a patch or something instead of a fix, because not a fix is in like, but a fix is in a healing process. I don't believe in drugs. I don't believe in alcohol. I can't take alcohol. I literally can die if I have anything with salicylic acid in it because I'm allergic to it. Same thing with seafood. Just, there's so many things that are working against me that out of the randomness of just living, I should have already died multiple times. Yet even after suicide attempts when I was a teenager, of just being fed up and no one caring and being bullied and pushed around and everything, I just realized that, well, I've tried to kill myself very intently multiple times and it didn't take. So you slice your wrist open and it doesn't bleed. That's intervention. You can't literally do that and get away with that and without there being some higher power taking care of you, keeping you here for a reason. And that's why I am a Jesus-loving Christian. I'm not trying to trigger anyone. All I'm trying to do is say my piece, my truth, and give people hope that think that there is none left in the world because of the state of events and everything with COVID. You know, if it's political for you with Trump and Biden, I don't really keep up with politics that much. When it directly affects me, I can't deal with it. It's just one of those things that there's just too much. The news is too much because it's always depressing. That's why I don't watch the news. You know, people ask me, "Oh, you gotta stay informed. You have to be in the know." Well, if it's something I care about, I'll be in the know for it. Like tech and games. You know, I am the tech and games crusader. I crusade for projects and technology products that I feel strongly about will make an impact, be it on an emotional state, a evolutionary state, as far as evolving something to a new step that will help the world, or just bringing something out there that needs to be heard. Having an impact. That's what I believe in. That's what makes me promote the projects and the technology and support what I can. I'm not a rich person. I'm very far from that. I'm getting by on prescription assistance and medical assistance because I have no insurance. And health insurance is not something that when you're plant-based, they really want to try and give you anyways. I've not had new glasses since 2009. Same glasses since then. Same prescription. And I know my eyes have gotten worse. I can't do anything about it. I put off in the order of importance and necessity. So I make sacrifices. I tried to do crowdfunding for being able to raise money to get by and stuff, and I couldn't do it because of identity theft. I've had since 2003, I've had 17 cases of identity theft where someone out there has used my social security number, either drained my account or impersonated me. I just got through going to court to close out a death certificate that was on my social security number since 1998. Who does that? Why would I... Seriously. I don't get it. I've had the most odd things happen to me that most people just would go, oh yeah, you're lying. Or that's unbelievable. People have wanted to write a book about my life or make a movie or TV show, but I don't know how they would get around doing so. There's been so many oddities in my life, both spiritually as well as physically, as well as monetarily, as well as just... The cast would be huge. You think the cast for Forrest Gump is a huge cast listing or something. No, it would be along the same time length, but it would be a lot bigger cast. Because I've had so many people that I have been in contact with that have influenced me over the years that I either lived with me, was in a relationship with, helped them in some profound way, worked with, worked for me. Just, I can think of at least 400 names right off the top of my head, and I don't want to name them all because that's just ridiculous. There would be so many of the names have been changed in this protect the true identities of the people to make sure that they get to live their normal lives type of sequence that you would get tired of reading. The credits would go on for literally 45 minutes. It would be the longest credits in movie history. Because I don't believe in leaving anything out. There is no one person in my life that I have been in contact with that is any less important to me. Be it online, on social media, in person, in family, in friends, or in relationships of people that I see at stores and stuff. I get in first name basis with people I see in stores because I'm there and I remember things. So if I lose my memory, all of that goes away. So it would just be like driving that crank, or driving Mr. Cranky, or crotchety old man, or whatever. I don't know. You know, driving Mrs. Daisy or Miss Daisy. It'd be like something of that sort, but just consistently, continually getting worse. So let's close on that one. Move on. But yeah, I've been a product tester for feedback and R&D purposes since 1996, before I graduated high school. So it's a few months, but still. I really enjoy it because I like helping people bring to market the best, most polished version of what their ideal was. So that you don't have people come out that, oh, they get something sent to them that is a release version of a product, and they just start bagging and ragging on it because it doesn't meet their standards. It's not what they expected. You know, the same thing happens with like crowdfunding and Kickstarter and Indiegogo and stuff like that. I like to be able to give my input. I have over 12 years experience in PR and marketing for the electronics purposes of industry business. You know, in gaming in general, I have close to work experience around 15 and a half years that I've been in the gaming industry. Either in arcades, because I've worked in 5 arcades, in game stores. I worked at Toys R Us, Software Etc., GameStop, EB Games, Best Buy, and where else was it? Source Merchandise. And then also just you know, I did game development for a while. I built my first game when I was 4 years old on a Commodore 64. It was a beehive management game, of all things. Why? Because my papaw, he had beehives. He managed bees, and I was interested in it. You know, what we're around influences us and what we like. Where I'm around only pretty much myself and a couple of other people now, my influences are me. I've found who I am. And the things about me that stood out when I'm around other people, it just, they still are there. But now I know those were me and not just I was just being nice because I was trying to help someone. That's just who I am. So that's kind of cool. The last game I tried to build was very ambitious. I built my own engine. I built my own modeling system. And it was built in C#. And I had 6 people from all over the world that were helping me build this game. And I was a fan of Michael Crichton's Timeline book. So my game project was called Time-Lapse. So basically, it's like, you know how the map system in the first Far Cry, you could go in different zones and things to where it translates or transitions from like mountains to plains to swamp and things like that. Well, in this, you could do the same thing. You had full open zones, but the time travel mechanic for it was more like Quantum Leap than it was like the aspects of the movie Timeline, because I liked Quantum Leap. So I thought that was a really cool thing, and I worked on it for 3.5 years, and I had close to 56. No, it was 56 DVDs that I had burned off the code onto. Then the house fire came, and I lost those. And electricity by a lightning bolt ran in on my computer, literally caught it on fire. That was 6 months after the house fire. And just kind of lost everything from there. And I went into business with someone. I opened up a computer store because I like to build computers, mod computers, and stuff like that. And had a computer store. We had a LAN area in the back. Me and a buddy built the tables where I had partitions. You could do 6 people at one table. The tables were 18 feet long and about 6 feet wide. So it was pretty awesome until the back door got left open at one of the LAN parties that we had people hold. I came in the next morning and there was 4.5 feet of standing water in the store that came up from the creek where it had flooded the night before. And half of the store's inventory was either destroyed or stolen. So lost the deposit on that. Just like I said, guys, right now I'm just rambling. I'm giving myself a record of things just so I can be able to have something to look at, to remember some things that have happened in my life. I don't know how long I'll still get to remember them. I pray that, Jesus will step in and continue to do what I would like, but it's never about what I want. It's about what path he wants me on. And lately, that's just been having myself outward a reflection of him inward, so that people can see him through me. Having kindness be reflected, and I'm at the hospital a lot, so I may be the only person some people there ever have an experience of interacting with someone that has Jesus. And it is not just trying to, I'm not a Bible thumper. I am a motivator, but I will lift people up, but I won't take them over. I won't demand one thing of any person. I will help them however either Jesus informs me that I need to, or if no information is given, then however I best see fit to. It's never always about one way of helping someone. Sometimes it may be food, sometimes it may be company, sometimes it may be money, or sometimes it may just be, expression. But that's really all that I have to say right now. So, guys, thanks for listening. I know this has been long. I just wanted to get something done because I don't know how long I'll still be able to get to do it. So, Cyberknight, you're Tech and Games Crusader. Hope you guys have a good night, good day. Take care. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll see you later.